Building a Cloud Operating Model, July 2020. Notices. Contents. Abstract. Today, many IT leaders want to understand how to adopt cloud technology while maximizing cloud benefits, such as business agility, risk reduction, staff efficiency, and cost reduction. This paper outlines the principles for building a successful cloud operating model that delivers innovative, cost-effective, reliable, and secure solutions for the consumption and acceleration of business outcomes by the organizational business units. Introduction. Establishing an appropriate cloud operating model is critical to forming your organization's successful adoption of cloud and delivering greater business agility. The impact of the cloud will be felt across your entire organization, not just information technology, and will significantly affect, and be affected by, your organizational culture and information technology delivery structures. Understanding these implications and your company's desire to change are important elements of building a successful cloud operating model. To support such a transformation, your organization must have a critical mass of people with experience in the Amazon Web Services, AWS, cloud that can productionize and operate the underlying platform in a product-centric approach. Many organizations start by taking a traditional project-based approach, adding cloud as an additional technology layer into their existing operating model and landscape. While they may start to realize value and savings from reduced infrastructure spend over traditional and legacy on-premise approaches, adding yet another technology into the mix does bring in challenges. Most worryingly, it can mean that they are unable to adopt and support new business initiatives at a pace demanded by the business. It is not until one or more of several events and issues arises that many IT leaders are forced into acting and doing something different, such as setting up a focused cloud team center of excellence. At AWS, we refer to this capability as a Cloud Enablement Engine, CEE. This is a branch of technology and business resources with a focus on leading the organization on its cloud adoption journey that maps to the most important needs of the business, and not just information technologists. This white paper discusses critical elements for creating a successful cloud adoption capability and identifies mechanisms for acceleration that can be applied prior to a major event or issue. The guide also highlights how the AWS domain model can be used to establish an aligning of the operating model with the most important needs of the business. Prerequisites. The Cloud Enablement Engine, CEE, should be aligned to the primary business objectives and outcomes. This ensures that the success of the cloud adoption will be measured in terms of business benefits from the outset and set the foundation for the operating model and prioritization of tasks. A critical prerequisite to the success is the endorsement of organizational leaders and commitment of executive sponsorship in the form of a cloud leadership team. Successful cloud adopters are disrupting the status quo within their organizations. Without this sponsorship and backing, Cs will stall and slow down. For large multi-business unit organizations, the operating model may need to apply additional or alternative federated approaches, such as building a community of practice instead of central team. Target business outcomes and value. Unlike some of the more technical domains, building out and establishing a cloud operating model is more fluid in terms of prescriptive outcomes. Our experience in working with successful cloud technology leaders, CIO/CTO, is that they look to establish a cloud enablement engineering, CEE, capability that is value generating before they are faced with failures and firefighting. Examples of value generation seen by some AWS adopters include 60% reduction in downtime, 51% efficiency savings, 14x reduction in time to deliver, 43% reduction in operational costs. Unfortunately, all too often there is a focus solely on the technology of cloud, and it is not until issues arise that many IT leaders are forced into acting and doing something different. The four most common events are as follows. Bill shock, such as significantly higher cloud costs than anticipated, operational outages, and a timely struggle to recover, security and data breaches. Stalled projects caused by an everlasting desire to build the perfect cloud data center project with no return in value. A successful cloud operating model, COM, enables organizations to operate applications reliably and securely in the cloud with a faster pace of innovation and value to the business. A key component of leading COM approaches is the adoption of a product-based approach of the cloud platform. By adopting a product mindset, each team can take the responsibility and accountability for increased awareness, ownership and operational excellence through self-healing systems that can recover quickly using integrated failure detection and remediation. Platform optimization can also be added through the measurement of known application baselines and testing those baselines using chaos engineering, failure injection, and game days, interactive team-based hands-on learning exercise. Achieving these recommendations most likely needs a culture shift around how organizations design, deploy, and operate their cloud platform and a focus on automation with repeatable, ongoing processes. Product-based delivery of cloud. Amazon Web Services, AWS. Most successful cloud customers utilize a product mindset to ensure great customer experiences. A product in this context is defined by 1. Performing a constrained number of common tasks very well, 2. Having clearly defined inputs and outputs, 3. Being useful to multiple customers, and 4. Continuously improve to meet the needs of those customers. For example, Amazon.com uses multiple product teams to run their customer website. Product definition is important as it's the interrelationship between products, the customers that use the products, consumers, and the teams that create the products, suppliers. These interdependent relationships highlight where product teams are both consumers and suppliers. This interdependency requires an additional level of ownership, accountability, and scrutiny so that each team is incented to provide a higher quality products and services. When companies do not effectively define and operate their systems as products, they often experience foundational failures that cross-product accountability would inherently handle or avoid. With each product team fully functional from business to operations, they are wholly accountable for all aspects of their services. Even shared service providers are product owners and offer a service that other product teams can choose to use. Although, the products should be in demand or we should question their existence. The core outcome is that each product team owns accountability and does not surrender this responsibility to any other product supplier. By owning the operation of a product all the way to the end customer, internal/external, cultivates empathy with the customer's perspective. As product owners choose to enter into contracts with other product owners, a supplier/consumer relationship is created and trust is developed. Empowering product teams to make their own choices on how they solve problems and which other products they use enables the full and complete accountability for the product and how it is perceived by their customers. Core to a properly functioning product mindset are 4 key foundational concepts that will help ensure future customer impacting events are minimized. Appropriately defined products are fully and completely owned from requirements to production support by a single 2-pizza team, 6 to 10 people. A culture of accountability, empowerment, and self-reliance for each product team such that any and all services they provide exceed expectations regardless of any dependencies or other leveraged products/services. A clear structure of what is minimally required for a journey to production and who is influential/responsible in each step along the way. There should be minimal gates, but there should be an abundance of high-quality advice both provided and given by key product teams. The product definition, metrics, and dependencies, including APIs, root cause analysis, disaster recovery testing, game days, etc. that a product owner understands about their product is centrally published and available to other product owners who are either a consumer/supplier. By understanding more about your dependencies, you understand more about your own product. Summary of activities. A number of key activities can facilitate, support, and even accelerate the achievement of cloud adoption and delivery of business outcomes. Enterprises almost always have a multitude of competing priorities, even within their cloud strategy. Failure to transform operating models can result in a great stall phenomenon where adoption momentum stops or slows to a crawl. One of the key factors observed in those customers who have avoided this effect has been the successful establishment of a cloud delivery and governance function often referred to as a Cloud Center of Excellence, CO, or Cloud Enablement Engine, CEE. This document includes 6 steps that companies should follow to build out a successful C. 1. Work backwards from the customer. 2. Re-envision the world as products. 3. Organize teams around products. 4. Bring the work to the team. 5. Reduce risk through iteration. 6. Own your entire lifecycle. Step 1. Work backwards from the customer. AWS believes that the mission for successful cloud operating models should be to deliver innovative, cost-effective, reliable, and secure solutions for the consumption and acceleration of business outcomes by the organizational business units. Many companies make guesses or inferences about what their customers want. They imagine, have hunches, or feelings. Unfortunately, this increases the odds of being wrong. If you want to be customer-centric, or even customer-obsessed, you need to move from imaging to knowing. This requires the team to spend time to get to know their customer, to find out what delights them, and what pain points they have. Ideally, we have end-use data to prove that we truly know our customers and what they want or need. Then, we think of what the best solutions might be to address their pain points, narrowing the list until we arrive at what proves itself to be the simplest way to solve their problem. A Cloud Enablement Engine, CEE, will need to provide a balanced emphasis on core cloud operating model capabilities, where innovation must be embraced without compromising security. Reliability is essential, yet the organization must operate and invest within the realities of a constrained budget. AWS helps our customers achieve this by aligning the delivery to our Cloud Adoption Framework, CAF, based methodology drawn from the best practices of cloud transformations over many years. Connect business goals to business and technology enablers. Many cloud adoptions start from a very technical basis. AWS uses a combination of our working backwards and envisioning processes to help lay a foundation for a cloud strategy and operating model that returns ongoing measurable value to your organization. The envisioning processes connects business goals and outcomes to enabling technologies, identifies key measures, and helps you prioritize your cloud initiatives. While the working backwards process translates this into a customer-facing narrative so that you can validate your vision with key stakeholders before embarking on development. The outcome is a clear link between enabling technologies and cloud initiatives and stakeholder approval that you are prioritizing on the most important business outcomes and success measures. Ideally, these should be developed iteratively and in partnership with key stakeholder representation. Align stakeholders to overcome blockers. Having established a shared vision, it's important to establish a backlog of tasks, epics and stories in Agile parlance. The AWS CAF Alignment Approach delivers a facilitator-led, interactive team planning session designed to guide and prepare business and technology stakeholders as they begin to transform their traditional IT environment to a cloud services organization. Using output of the envisioning process as its input, the CAF alignment establishes a collaborative, executable action plan to facilitate the kick-start of a cloud operating model aligned to key initiatives. The approach is based on identifying the blockers and concerns across 6 groups of stakeholder perspectives. Each of the 6 perspectives contain a set of defined capabilities that are often significantly impacted with the adoption of cloud. Using a CAF alignment-based approach, customers can learn and plan for the impact that cloud has on the execution of a wide range of capabilities, not just the technology challenges. The CAF alignment approach is designed to help customers understand these changes and show that they are common and well understood, while also helping develop a prescriptive action plan to address concerns and remove the blockers to cloud adoption. Step 2. Re-envision the world as products. In many organizations, systems that support the business are a large, complex, tangled messes of functionality that have developed organically over time. Once upon a time, Amazon was no different. The system that supported the Amazon.com business was a large, Java-based e-commerce application. In order to move to a product model, where we could drive adoption and reuse of the functionality within Amazon.com for other purposes beyond retail, we first had to reimagine what those individual products would be. Examples include homepage, customer account, search, shopping cart, item management. It's important to note that this is not the act of refactoring the architecture. Refactoring can't happen until we know what the components of that future architecture will ultimately be. For the cloud platform, that means moving away from a systems and technology-focused alignment into collections of products, services and technologies that are grouped together into a product that aligns to our 4-point definition highlighted previously. Examples of cloud products, which could include multiple AWS and non-AWS products and services, include Digital Access Gateway, search, video streaming, data ingest and conversion, database migration, continuous compliance. Step 3. Organize the teams around products. Once you've identified a set of cloud products, customers should look to build teams around the ownership and accountability for one or more products by a team. A successful cloud operating model ensures that all components such as people, processes, and tools are set up to support one another effectively. It is imperative to keep evolving to meet product consumers' expectations as their needs differ and change over time. Clear product ownership is key. Organizations with great product ownership are driven by metrics and clear accountability with strong service definitions and consistent delivery, all vital preconditions for success in the cloud and faster delivery of business outcomes. Achieving this requires the formation of a Cloud Enablement Engine, CEE. The C consists of 2 functional domains, Cloud Business Office, CBO, and Cloud Platform Engineering, CPE. The CBO has the responsibility for aligning the products and services offered by the Cloud Enablement Engine with the needs of its enterprise customers and leadership. It focuses on the business governance and people enablement aspects of cloud adoption. The responsibilities of the CBO include establishing the overall cloud change strategy to be delivered and enabled by the C to drive successful implementation across the organization. Providing alignment between enterprise architecture and the Cloud Enablement Engine, establishing processes to evaluate and develop new cloud patterns to support teams looking to adopt cloud, understanding customer requirements and demand for cloud products, translating requirements and demand into a prioritized backlog of work, managing the delivery of items within the cloud platform engineering and cloud business office backlogs. Providing mechanisms to accurately allocate, forecast, and optimize spending by cloud consumers. Enabling self-service capabilities for consumers and executives to manage current and forecasted spend. Guiding consumer teams through the process of migrating to the cloud, including training, deployments, migration, and the transition to steady-state operation. Underpinning the CBO is Cloud Platform Engineering, CPE, which is responsible for codifying differences between stock AWS service configurations and enterprise standards applicable for use within your organization. This function is responsible for packaging and continuously improving the cloud platform as a set of self-service deployable products for customers/consumers. This CPE is the foundational structure which would be responsible for the delivery of a set of products as highlighted in the following diagram. The responsibilities of the CPE teams include establishing the core and shared platform capabilities and codified patterns to enable enterprise self-service deployments by application development teams via a service catalog and templates. Building the operational platform and shared capabilities required to enable automated build and release processes, end-to-end operations, integration of operations products across all codified patterns, and self-service deployments, alerts, and reporting, creating codified corporate security policies and controls in the cloud, leveraging automation and self-service tools whenever possible. Proactively assess and monitor environment to enforce security policies and mitigate threats. Automation is central to a product mentality in all elements of the CPE delivery, particularly as teams consider resiliency and availability of their products. Automation should be employed to resolve incidents that leverage repetitive standard operational activities without human intervention. This automation is the basis for self-healing systems that can not only rapidly detect failures, but proactively alert on potentially impacting behaviors, execute test scenarios and remediation workflows to decrease times to resolve, enhance service levels and improve product availability. Step 4. Bring the work to the teams. We don't recommend building an entire cloud enablement engine to support the whole business all at once. Instead, we recommend, think big, but start small. This gives your team and its customers the opportunity to build and learn iteratively and incrementally as they scale adoption. The Cloud Foundation team is the first product team. The team should be cross-functional and represents all the roles and capabilities that will eventually scale into a full cloud enablement engine. In staffing a product team, you are looking to balance 4 concerns or perspectives: viability, a customer and business perspective; desirability, of the products being created and the change being driven through the organization; feasibility, a technical delivery perspective; operability, of the products in production. As cloud adoption grows, the Cloud Foundation team will need to increase and scale to support the pace and direction of your AWS customer journey. While every customer journey is different, a general pattern of successful cloud adopters follows a subdivide and specialize approach. In this approach, the initial cloud enablement engine is typically split into 4 product teams, 1 for the CBO and 3 in the CPE. For large organizations, this process of subdivide and specialize continues again in line with the backlog of work. The key roles required in the Cloud Foundation team are product owner, singularly accountable for the cloud enablement engine's vision and its viability from a business perspective. Cloud architects, translates customer, business, and governance requirements into product architectures. You may have overall cloud architecture, or architects that represent platform, operations, and security. Cloud engineers, since the cloud platform engineering teams run in a DevOps, you build it, you run it model, the engineers on the team are responsible for both development and operations across the platform, operations, and security domains. Additional roles that are typically added, though may be part-time, include financial analyst, responsible for financial budgeting, tracking and reporting, show/chargebacks and cost optimization; organizational change management specialist, responsible for making the move to cloud desirable for the organization through workforce preparedness, communications, training, resource and career management plans; Scrum Master, facilitates agile process and ensures forward progress towards business outcomes by the team. Step 5. Reduce risk through iteration and automation. Implementing an operating model is an ongoing process with continuous improvement through measurement and testing. All product teams have a shared responsibility to establish measures to ensure they are delivering what is expected and are operating within acceptable limits. In this model, the product owners are accountable for measurement of not only the product but also the services their product is dependent upon. The transparency of metrics and measures provided and consumed by different product teams will allow each product team to make better decisions. To ensure the operating model continues to function properly with the release of new products, it needs to embed constant, automated, and standardized testing into all new products. This testing not only needs to continuously test the resilience of applications to recover themselves, but also to simulate the failure of dependent services. Step 6. Own your own lifecycle. The cloud offers a great deal of opportunity to mitigate workarounds, sticking plaster, and the ills of years of neglect and continuous addition. What starts out as a simple minimal viable product to deliver X, can rapidly turn into a desire to build the perfect data center in the cloud. The consequence being a multi-year initiative, minimal workloads live in the cloud, a trail of directional and resource changes with little or no business value or outcomes delivered. Successful adopters take 2 key actions to help ensure they own their own life cycle and deliver meaningful benefits. Firstly, they align the operating model delivery approach to the strategic value of the workload. While the cloud platform and the engineering team should be adopting a DevOps, you build it, you run it approach, don't expect everyone else to immediately have the desire to make the same change to their delivery model. In our engagements with customers, we have seen 3 broad approaches being adopted as shown below. Sustain. This model takes on a traditional operations approach. This is nearly identical to the traditional, activity-based model we see in most organizations where engineering, operations, infrastructure, and application teams and boundaries exist. This model works best for lift and shift workloads where there is little or no value in changing the operational approaches for the workload, either because it rarely changes or has a limited lifespan left. Optimizing this model, application engineering is now also responsible for application operations. Think of this as DevOps for the application team, where they own the full outcome of delivering and operating their application. Similarly, cloud platform engineering now owns engineering and operations of the platform services they provide to enable application teams. This approach implies a shared responsibility model between the application and platform teams. Platform teams provide the codified enterprise standards and governance that enable application teams to iterate quickly, without burdening them with knowing deep implementation details of the underlying platform. Grow for teams that are on the bleeding edge of technology, looking to consume the latest AWS services. We see this model being adopted. In this model, application engineering is responsible for their applications, but in order to avoid stifling innovation for high-growth areas of the company, they are empowered to build out platform capabilities that have not yet been standardized by the cloud platform engineering team. Cloud platform engineering still provides standard accounts and guardrails that prevent application teams from configuring services in a way that would expose the enterprise to inappropriate security, financial, or operational risk. The 3 models do not imply levels of maturity. In fact, we see all 3 of these operating models in most companies. That said, there is almost always a gravitational pull towards optimize. Sustain workloads get retired or outsourced, and the platform services used by grow workloads eventually become the new enterprise standards. This allows even the most cutting-edge teams to be supported by the cloud platform engineering team, so that these application teams can focus on adding new digital business value, rather than doing the undifferentiated heavy lifting of maintaining platform capabilities. Successful cloud operating models and Cs establish a clear roadmap of delivering capabilities and processes that align and underpin the ability to establish production operations in an MVP and iterative approach. Many customers already have operational processes and procedures in place for IT delivery and change management. Some of these will be well documented and aligned to standards such as ITIL, others will be implemented through localized ways of working. AWS established our operational integration domain-based blueprint model derived from assessing industry standards that were most applicable to cloud platforms and addressing the needs of our customers in establishing a cloud operating model in C. The AWS operations domain shown below represents a framework, based on best practices, that will enable IT and business organizations to transform their current ITIL and other based operating model towards a cloud-based architecture adapted model. The domain model currently focuses on different aspects and highlights where they align into the C responsibilities. It is important to note that these domains continue to evolve through continuous improvement, and should be considered as the 80-20 rule in covering most operational processes that a majority of customers will need. There may be additional operational processes unique to a customer's organization or specialized industry that need to be taken into consideration. The domain model can be used to show and communicate the C operational capability roadmap across MVP cycles as shown below. It's worth highlighting that ITIL and AWS operations domains are compatible. ITIL is a recognized industry standard, comparable to similar initiatives. The ITIL framework was built to improve and generalize a best practice in regards to implementing, Maintaining and operating IT services. ITIL has a high number of certified practitioners, all over the world, but like all frameworks it is not perfect and has its set of criticisms. When hard linked into systems, monitoring, ticketing, support services, etc., ITIL processes can be complex to transform. The purpose of the domain model is to help the C own and establish its operating model roadmap. Next steps to properly set the stage for transformation. Organizations need to move towards iterative and incremental operating model improvements and a product-based mindset to IT delivery. This guide covered best practices for establishing a cloud operating model, including: start small, but keep the end in mind. Strive to define a future state model that the cloud affords and aligns to outcomes that are core to your business. Be intentional about how you drive change and bring people along on the journey, and do so via iterative continuous improvements, cross-functional teams and experimentation. Pilot what success looks like by establishing an initial cloud foundation team, identifying several candidate workloads to run on AWS, tracking clearly defined metrics, creating opportunities for continuous learning, and celebrating early wins. By following these guidelines, you can set a foundation that can be emulated and scaled to other parts of the organization. Appendix A, Examples of AWS Customer Operating Model Transformations. The following table provides example information where AWS has supported customers across each of the 6 elements of the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. AWS CAF Perspective Summary. Business: how Illumina are using AWS to offer their customers a lower cost, high-performance genomic analysis platform, which can help them speed their time to answers. People: how Capital One reduced its data center footprint, expanded its use of microservices, and reimagined banking using AWS governance. How Travis Perkins created a center of excellence to reduce end-to-end infrastructure setup time to 2 hours. Platform: how 3M Health Information Systems needed the agility to develop and deploy new applications faster. AWS CAF Perspective Summary. Operations link: how companies like FINRA or Pekin Insurances have tackled challenges related to cloud operations security. How Experian is using AWS technology as a differentiator for flexible and lower time to market credit data analytics. Conclusion: organizations that successfully establish a cloud operating model, COM, have a lot to gain. While the focus is often on cost savings, other benefits typically included reduced downtime, faster delivery of new services and capabilities, productivity improvements, and higher staff morale. Organizations should consider developing a new operating model before they experience the 4 common pitfalls of unexpected and higher than predicted costs, slow and stalled adoption, outages, or security breaches. The 6-step approach contained in this white paper is provided to help guide cloud adoption leaders in developing a successful cloud operating model aligned to business needs. Contributors to this document include Russell Easter, AWS Public Sector, Senior Advisory Consultant, Andre Savine, AWS, WW Enterprise Transformation Architect. Further reading: for additional information, see Migrating to Amazon Web Services, Job Roles in the Cloud, online course from AWS Training and Certification, Reaching Cloud Velocity, book by Thomas Blood and Jonathan Allen.